Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. This one is a record session that we're gonna have. I don't know how often, but we pretend to have it more than once a week. I am a new student, so don't expect too much to me, just my support and just being here to be what can we do together. So thank you, everybody. I'm gonna paste this one probably on YouTube or something easy to for people to catch. And these are just basically the slides that we have on our material. I'm gonna be showing the slides on the screen, and I'm gonna be reading over them. And if we have question or anything, please jump on it and then ask them. So the objectives of the first lesson that we have is explain the cables, types, and connectors, install and configure motherboard, explain legacy cables, types. And on that one, a quick explanation what the legacy means. It's just the older version of cables or components or anything of that sort that they recommend to have handy just in case we are fixing something that is outdated, right? So the first part, this one is divided in three topics. The first topic gonna be explain cable types and connectors. And here they show us the front part of a system case. And on the lecture, they told us about the difference between the tower, that is the one that we have on a screen, and others that are basically one piece of equipment that go directly to the internet and to the power. The all-in-one version normally is like a big base monitor that have pretty much all the connectivity that you need there. On this slide, they're explaining the parts, having the power button at the bottom with the two lights. Some of the cases also include a temperature display on it. Um, Normally, these computers and all the devices will generate heat because the electricity going through them. So they have a fan that helps to vent the hot air out. And they're gonna explain it later on upcoming session as well. Something important as well, still being useful, is the optical disk drive, the CDs, the DVDs, the Blu-rays. Many of them, I have seen that at least on laptops, they are disappearing. They don't have a drive anymore, but they always have a USB or some other connectivity, so you can plug your external one always. So that's good to have there. And then a front input output panel, and that is for audio and USB. They have the 3.5 jacks on the left side with the colors. Sometimes they have three different options, in, out. No, I don't remember clearly, but I believe that is actually audio. We will check that one later on. Thank you. Also, this one have a side panel. That is the one that we remove to have access to the internal components. And the front panels have the component that we already mentioned. So now we're gonna go to take a look on the rear of this personal computer. Remember, this one is a tower. And on the back of this tower, we're gonna find the power supply with a fan. That one is a piece that is normally one component together. The three, well, this one is a flat picture of it, but we can see the three lines here. That is where we connect the cable that goes to the actual outlet on the wall to have access to the power for this computer. Okay, so we have the power supply. We have also the chassis fan airflow cutout. Those are the holes that we see there. They recommend to have some venting on these computers, but at the same time, they wanted to keep it kind of close on the lower part where the expansion card goes, the slots. Sometimes, if you remove it, it's gonna be an space there. So we need to avoid to have that extra air coming in because normally it brings dust, and dust doesn't help us to prevent the components getting hot. And then Yeah, you can read what else is on the screen also. But basically, that's the back of the tower, the personal computer tower. On the left side on this picture, we see the motherboard with input and output panels. We have different kind of input there for audio, for video, for storage devices. And we will be talking about them later on with details. So we're gonna go to the next slide. And on this one, we're gonna be talking about the peripheral devices. And the peripheral devices is basically anything that you can connect to the computer. It's two kinds, input and output. So some of them are, the input is when you give information to the computer for it to do the operations. That will be like a keyboard, a mouse. And the output devices gonna be the screens, printers, or anything that is producing from that information that you give to the computer. So we have this input output port that we were mentioning before, including a USB port, HDMI, 3.5 audio jacks, and some others. We can also connect to interfaces, ports, and connectors. And something that it mentions here, that is the binary data storage and transfer unit. One of the classmates here is asking if they can have access to this one. And I believe that I already put a video showing how to get this from our college. But yeah, absolutely, we can put that one on the chat. I don't know if another student can put like a step by step how to get this one. But you're gonna get there with your login credentials for Calbright, and then you go to other steps that I don't wanna mention here because we wanna focus on this one now. But no worries, we're gonna cover that one. All right, thank you, Sui. All right, so we're gonna go to the next one now. This one are the USB, and USB stands for Universal Series Bus Cables. These are different shapes that they have. Currently, on November 2023, the most updated is the USB 3.0. They have some difference on the actual power that they have and capacities, and also the shapes. On the well, the shape is basically the same, and then for many of them, and then the capacity and the speed is different. So these USBs have different purposes. They can be used for controllers, port maximum support devices, and also for charging and giving power to the devices. Many times, some of them is only to transfer information, but then you're gonna see the option to charge as well, especially for the handheld devices. They normally are capable to transfer data and also energy to the devices. On the information that they give us on the class, we can also take a look on the, I'm sorry, what they give us on the class, they have more details about this USB, so I strongly recommend you to take a look on that one. This is just a complement to the education that we need to have in order for us to get the exam. To give the exam, we need to pass these classes, so I recommend you to go to the classes. And also for you to remember how is your progress on those. It's three different categories, high, medium, and low. And then you follow your advance that give Calbright the knowledge that you are going further on the activities. But yeah, somebody was answering on the chat. The chat gonna be kind of eternal, I believe. So after this presentation, the information gonna be there as well, so you can take a look on how to get there. But I am kind of sure that I'm gonna put on this link to a video that I put together for having access to the information as well. But thank you, Jeremy, for jumping in and showing us how to do it. Probably people don't gonna see it on this presentation, but on the chat they will have access to. Maybe at the end we're gonna go through it, okay? But because this one is a Zoom simple version, we only have 40 minutes to record, so I'm gonna try to go fast on this one, but we can always go back on the chat, or we're gonna do it for next sessions. My intention is to do this session after we finish the cycle, and probably will be way better with more knowledge and with more input from you guys. So thank you for bearing with me on this one. So now we are talking about HDMI and DisplayPort video cables. So they show us these entries for different systems. They explain really with details on the Calbright material, the CompTIA material actually. And this one are different type of cables to connect video devices, audio and picture or motion picture sometimes. And they also mention the daisy chaining, that is basically to use one to connect many. And that applies to many different things I realize on IT jargon. So you can probably connect one computer to different monitors on the same time. So that's what they refer to the daisy chaining. And if somebody want to give any input, please raise your hand and open your mic and start talking, because this one is for everybody, okay? So on the next slide, we're gonna see the Thunderbolt and Lightning cables. At the beginning, it was confusing for me. I thought that both of them were for, um, I will mention it. I faithfully, we don't gonna have any legal issues here, but Apple have the Lightning as a trademark. And that one is for their devices, but also Thunderbolt, I remember that is kind of compatible with this one. And it's two cables that are really, really used right now for many of the connectivity on the devices. They're talking about the active versus passive cabling. Um, when you're using Microsoft or Android kind of devices compared to the iOS, the Apple versions, you're gonna need some adapters. So be prepared with those. It's good to have them on your toolbox, different type of cables, so you can access different kind of devices. Many times when the devices are many generations old, it's more convenient to buy a newest version of the same device compared to fixing it, because it's more convenient about price and everything else. So just keep in mind that some people want to keep their own active devices working. So it could be a good idea to have them just in case if you want to go on that route on the IT program. This series of videos will be based on the CompTIA A+ certification. This one is an entry level for different type of IT jobs and careers. So this is really general on hardware and software, but it's a really good and deep knowledge for entry level positions. So just to give you an understanding why we're studying this. Other of the topic that discovered is the SATA hard drive cables. These are the serial advanced technology attachment. It's a lot of acronyms used on IT, so it's good to have an idea what they are. I strongly recommend you to not only go into these videos, but at the same time that you're watching the videos, it will be good to go to the CompTIA material. They explain about the Molex power connectors, the external SATA. I was intending to read both, but I feel that's gonna be kind of hard considering that this one is my first time. So thank you for your patience on this. After that, we have a review activity about the cable types and connectors. And this covers the personal computers, peripheral devices, universal serial bus cables, HDMI and DisplayPort video cables, Thunderbolt and Lightning cables, SATA hard drive cables, and also different type of connectors and cables. Yeah, and thank you everybody for the encouragement there. Also, we have a lab activity I was doing this one recently and it was easier than I was expecting. On my personal case, I had to connect my computer to a bigger TV, a bigger screen that I have at home because the letters were small. But yeah, this activity is also important to get the vouchers, to get passing the classes. So it's basically working on a computer like we were looking before, and then you start clicking the screen. And it's a 3D lab, so they have different modes. One of them is guided activities. So then you're just gonna see people. I mean, you're gonna see on the screen what you need to do, and then when you press it, it's gonna show you what it is. But it's basically removing the pieces of this PC, opening the side panel, taking a look what is inside, and then they tell you what to do. Um, Before that, you need to put your anti-static rust. I forgot how you call it. Anti-static, something that you connect on your wrist, basically, to avoid giving electricity to the component. It's pretty fun, and yeah, probably we can even talk about it later, or we can do a video about it later on as well. Another thing that I want to mention, we have a lot of good students, like you guys. We need more leadership on this. So if you can do your own classes, your own study groups, that will be amazing. Because this one is for everybody. Yeah, so we thank you so much. You was giving me the answer that I was looking for. Anti-static wristband. Yeah, that one is the one that we're supposed to use when we are working with the components. Human being and most of our environment, especially plastic materials, generate static. Some of the components, especially the motherboard, I believe, or the CPU, could be damaged with our own energy. So the anti-static wristband is something really important. Now we are going to this next topic 1B, install and configure motherboards. So on this one, we are talking about the function of the motherboard, the PC system architecture, then we have the drawing on the right side, and they are talking about
Hello.
the volatile.
Hello,
Yeah, we have
Jessica.
somebody. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I just figured it's just me and you right now on the Zoom. Is that you again, Victor Acuna, the second person?
Yeah, yeah, I will be the other person. I have it to see
Two
how it
accounts?
looks in the recording. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I figured, I mean, you're doing a really great job. However, I feel like everybody else is in the IT leadership and support job. It's another Zoom that's happening from 12 to 1 o'clock. Do you think because it's just one person in this class today, maybe you want to move it to the next so that me and you can also benefit in the other Zoom class? What do you think?
Let me rephrase to see what you are asking. Or can you rephrase it actually? Because I don't know if I get you completely.
Okay, I'm saying right now it's just the two of us because I know a lot of people subscribe to this class you're doing right now, this Zoom you're doing. However, um, most people, almost like 70 people, are in the other Zoom because that one started at 12 o'clock and yours started at 12:15. So I attended that one for 15 minutes and then I joined this one. And even Jeremy Cox was also on that one. I think he joined yours, but maybe he went back to the other one because he's already in core two, right? So
Oh,
I
I'm
just
really
wanted to,
sorry. I didn't know that we were overlapping. If you want to go to the
yeah,
other one, that's perfectly fine. Sorry
uh-huh,
for everybody that is listening to this one now. The idea of this one is to have it recorded so people can come here. With
yeah,
Jeremy, we were talking about this, so we can do it at any time that we have
yeah,
available. So if somebody show up, good. Otherwise, it's good too because we gonna keep putting the information there for people. But
got it.
thank you so much. People that are listening that are students as well, having consideration that this gonna be recorded and gonna be have access to it later on. But if you wanna go
Oh,
to a different class or anything, please do that. Um,
mhm.
um, don't get me wrong, I am just a student, just like most of you guys. I am not a professor.
Yeah,
For that reason, I am just doing my
absolutely.
best. Yeah.
You're doing really good and we appreciate you taking your time. to, participate in this. Thank you so much.
All right, Zoe, thank
So,
you. Mhm.
yeah, so that's the link right there in case you want to join the other one too, because I think we have about 25 minutes to catch up with them.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
It's
keep continuing on this one. Thank you for the invitation. If you wanna go there, that's amazing. I'm gonna place this one on the recording so everybody have access to it. So thank you for that one. And I
all right,
appreciate
no
you.
problem.
Thank you, Zoe. Highly appreciate
All
it.
right,
Thank
all
you.
right,
Thank you.
Victor. Have a good day. Bye.
Likewise. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I was telling you, this one is for Calbright student, and we have some overlap activities here. But good thing that they brought it up. So if you are listening to this and you wanna do like this study room like we are doing right now, just feel free to do it. I feel that if we record and will be beneficial for other students. So many of us are working and also studying, so we have time to take a look on this one in our own leisure, and then we can share with others how we see in our own words this content, or we can just be looking at how others explain us. So faithfully, we're gonna have more of this soon. But here we go. Let's keep going on this one. So motherboard functions. They're talking about the PC system architecture, the binary data and instructions, central processing unit and cache, system memory, mass storage, removable storage, and all of those are things that are fully detailed on the other part of this class, that is the text. But yeah, we can talk about that later as well. And also they are talking about the clock speed and frequency multipliers. That's a really good lesson to pay attention on. And then we're gonna move to the next part of this. And that one is the anti-static wristband that goes connected to the mat that is underneath. Um, on the other side that we cannot see here, but it's like a pin coming on the end of this cord that connect to this mat on this case. I noticed that there's something connected to anything metallic. I just feeling that they want to have ground electricity in case that discharge happens. But it's good to keep in mind the safety instructions. And they're gonna remind you about this on the lab as well. We also have the motherboard, CPU, and system memory connectors. And these are the sockets, the slots, these drive connectors. And this is how it basically looks. Previously, I thought that was something smaller, but I was just thinking about the CPU, not the motherboard, because this one is basically the whole brain of the computer. So you can connect everything here. They're gonna be working or making work the computer, doing the operations of everything that computer does. And this one, it go hosted inside the case that we saw previously. So then you see that the puzzle is putting together by itself. All right. So the motherboards have different kind of connector to storage information and energy and everything. So they have the ASATA and also the M.2 and the ESTA. We have the connectors. The PCI Express is another option. Those are lanes and links bandwidth. And for power, they have different versions. Some of them are compatible, some of them are not. Um, they talk about the peripheral component. That one is similar but a little bit different. Um, they talk about the voltage that they run through them. So take a look on that one when you have a chance as well. They also talk about the form factors that take in consideration the physical dimensions, case power, supply compatibility, number of adapter cards supported, advanced technology extended, information technology extended, motherboard installation, and standoff. Please bear with me. This one is the first version of this class, so I don't even want to call it class because I am not a teacher, but a study group. So Okay, we have the audio headers, the 9-pin USB headers, and all of these go connected on the end with the component. So for that reason, we have all of these pins that go plug on the little holes of the component. And I was realizing that it's a good idea to start talking about ports and some specific numbers that they have for the exam. So take a look on that one. At some point, you're gonna see on the material that we have together, that was put together by the student, is one really good chart that they talk about the ports and the numbers connected to that one. So take a look on that one when you have a chance as well. All right. Many of the videos need a video card and also the capture card if you wanna make your own video using the cameras that your computer can be attached to. And this one could be a video card that will have output for monitor. Also, you need to take in consideration the graphic processing unit, the frame rate, and the 3D effects and textures, the memory that the card has, the port, the type of numbers, and the size also, and the connectivity, because depending on the size and the connectivity, you may have to use an adapter or something sometimes, depending. So take a look always on the instruction manual for the motherboard. And then, yeah, here we go. Capture cards also talk about the input recording. So those are more like a memory card kind of thing. Right. Sound card. That one is kind of easily identifiable by the port. They are 3.5 jacks that are used for mic, for audio going in, audio going out. And they sometimes have to connect more than one device at the same time as well. So this is really good for like listening to music or even for what we are doing right now. I am using a laptop, so that one have some of this connector, but not all of them, because it has a mic and speakers already connected to the laptop. But on a PC, you're gonna see all these components. I'm gonna start rushing because we only have limited time here. So we have network interface card, onboard Ethernet networking, network interface card. Um, they take in consideration the number of ports, and they are telling us the okay, so we have 10 minutes and we have like 9 more slides. So basically this one is the interface card. We have different ports here. These are to connect the internet to the computer. So many of the professionals prefer to do hardwired, so it's more reliable connection. And also this card have access to Wi-Fi adapters. Okay, so we were covering all the motherboard functions, electrical safety and ESD. Also the motherboard PC, CPU and system memory connectors, motherboard storage connectors, motherboard adapter connectors, motherboard form factors, motherboard headers and power connectors, video cards, capture cards, sound cards, and network interface cards. And it was another virtual workbench lab. It's on the material that we have access to on Calbright. And then we are moving to the last topic on this lesson that's gonna be the cable types. And we have the DVI, that's the short form to refer to the digital visual interface. We have the video graphics array, VGA. That one is analog compared to the other one that is digital and analog. I will need to double check on that one. But basically what they are telling us that is different type of outputs for these connectors. We need to make sure that if we are plugging something, we need to have the same connectivity. So the drawing, to say it in a simple way, the pins and holes have the same shapes and amount. So we need to take care of that. Otherwise, always take in consideration that you may have some adapters for these connections. The small computer system interface. Um, they talk about the small computer system interface, SCSI, the versions, the connectors, the considerations, and also the usage of serial attached SCSI, also known as SAS. And they are showing us a male and female port 68 pin. You can use this one to connect them together. Um, we have the integrated drive electronic interface. Um, they have it color code. They used to have these names. They don't. They are trying to get rid of these names. I don't even want to mention them, but you can see the thing there. But it's basically they are connected in a way, and one have more connectivity than the others. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna read the Enhanced Integrated Drive Electronics EIDE and the Parallel ATA, also known as PATA. The channels, we have primary and secondary, and devices per channel, device 0 and 1. So now we're gonna go to the next slide there. We have the RS232 interface, the low bandwidth, and the DV9 connector, software COM port, PS divided 2, keyboard and mouse port. So many of those can be connected through this one. But the tendency is that many things are going wireless, so just keep in mind. Okay, we have adapter cables, passive cables with different connectors on each end, active cables with QE3 to translate signaling between different interface types. We have video, HDMI to VGA, HDMI to DisplayPort, HDMI to DVI, and HDMI to many others. USB is highly used for many small devices, and even bigger devices are getting the capability to be connected to USB, and they are advancing really quick on the technology in that. Okay, so we're finishing today for our study room here. We were talking about the legacy cable types. We didn't talk too deep about it. Remember, this one is just to start the conversation and to probably have deeper questions for later sessions. But remember, and this is highly important for the exam, you need to start doing the lessons, and then you need to start getting the knowledge for your exam. So also practical exams. I am uploading some videos about tests with the right answers. It's just something really simple, and it was intended to have it playing like on the background, so you can do your whatever else that you are doing. They are not really fancy videos, and they are more getting you the knowledge of the question how they ask and the answer that they have. So just to start building that memory muscle that we need to have for the exams. So yeah, you can read on the screen the legacy cable tips topic that we covered today. I repeat, this is just kind of an introductory overview of the lessons. Probably the next videos. Well, I want to compromise myself, and then I want to say that yes, I want to do these videos better later on. So probably we're gonna see changes, but we're gonna be using these slides that are provided by the Calbright and the CertMaster Comty website. So take a look on those. That was CompTIA Core 1 Exam 220101 Lesson number 1 Summary Study Room. I am Victor. You can reach me out. I should be somewhere like Victor A. Acuna or Victor Acuna on the Slack. So if you have any question, you can do it there. I feel that the chat on these live sessions will be active. So as a student, you may have an access to that one on the Hangout. I have Jeremy that was encouraging me to do this. He did way better than me, but it's basically the similar format, and he used the slides, and then he have more more meat to put on those bones. So yeah, take a look on those classes that he have. He normally do them on Tuesday and Thursday. He announced them on the student hangout on Slack. So take a look on that one when he offered them. Thursdays, Tuesdays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. So be aware and thank you for being here. I wish you the best. Take care and yes, do it. We can do this. We can pass the exam. We just need to keep training. We can need to keep learning. And networking is also important. So talk to people in the industry. And if you have anything important or anything actually, anything is adding up, you can always share with us on our medias. Thank you. Take care.